you all doing? Today we are talking about music. Everything about
music.
You know. Our topic for today is the strategies of music revenue management for artist branding.
And yeah, we have in the house with us today a music business analyst and a talent manager in the person of Nelson Ofene. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. It's good to be here. I'm from Benue State. I'm Idoma.
Idoma.
Ofene.
Ofene. It's a fine surname though.
Yeah.
They told you that, right?
Many times. But I'd like to hear from her. Is it a fine surname?
Why are you shining your teeth? Say you're blushing. Look at you. Oh, wow.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're
it's good to hear from you. It's
Yeah.
good to be here.
Yeah, it's a honor.
Yeah, big one.
Yeah.
A talent manager.
Yes.
So you manage those amazing talents. We hear their voices on air. Because I'm going to ask about talent manager, the whole business. How's it for you guys? Do you guys get the honor, the respect that you guys deserve?
Well, it's not really about the honor, right? It's about the value,
Okay.
that we have to provide to the music business. Because if you look at the music business in Nigeria, in retrospection, 10 years ago, you see a lot of improvements.
Yeah, true.
And that's because a lot of people have taken upon themselves to gather more information and then build structures that will solidify the enormous investment that is made into the music business. So it's not about receiving accolades now, because there's still a lot to be done. So for us, we are still scheming and finding more ways to do the music business better, right? Because at the end of the day, music business in Nigeria is almost looking like a poverty alleviation scheme.
True. No cap.
Right?
You're not capping.
Yes, because you see people who have
From
spent
zero.
years in the university, they still come out again to look for ways to become professionals in the music business. So for us, it's still...
I asked that question because I've heard somebody say something. A friend of mine that is talent manager, he has said something like, "Oh, talent managers are not giving the accolades they deserve." That's why I asked that question.
Yeah, to some extent, the person could be right, and it's a subjective thing.
Yes, it is.
Because some people, when you are doing things because of passion, right, you are not waiting for anybody to clap for you. Because then we all have our calling, right? And then if you have 4 artists you're managing and none of them are doing well, what accolades are you expecting, right? So in general, yes, we are doing a lot of work to put the music industry out there. But when it comes to personal ambition and personal goals, there's still a lot of work to be done. And again, for anybody who is a talent manager and looking for accolades at this time, let us look at where Nollywood has has come from, and then
where we are right now,
and where we are now. And then you can see that even in the music business, right, as much as we want to see take accolades, we still have a lot of work to be done. So yeah.
So you were talking about, if you were managing, you cited an example talking about managing 4 artists, and how they have to all be doing well. So now, as a music executive or a label executive, that's coming into the game, what are those things I have to look out for, in signing an artist if I'm coming through a talent manager?
The fact is that anybody who is coming into the music business is coming as a business person.
Okay.
You want to invest and you want to make money.
Returns.
And like every other business, and the funny thing is, when you are outside the music business, you would think it's a very complex system. But it's the same thing as somebody who sells tomato outside. Because number one, you have to have a product, and that product needs to have value to add to somebody's life. So when you are when you're coming into the music business as an investor, right, you have to identify somebody who has a unique selling proposition, right? Something that can add value to somebody emotionally or economically, right? So when you are coming into the music business, you are scouting for talent. Not just talent, but something that has value to people. Because music is like medicine, right? So you create a drug to solve a problem for somebody who is sick, right? So when you're coming into the music business, you know that you are looking for a talent, and you must have the funds necessary to take that talent from point A, to point B. Let me even make it relatable. Let us look at crude oil. Someone who says they want to go into the oil business must have enough funds to go in there and drill that oil. And when you go in there to pick that oil, it is not in the form that the people want to use.
It has to be refined.
So you have to refine it, put it into several processes, then you now distribute it to different places and all of that. So in simple terms, when you're coming into the music business, you must know that you have to invest money. You have to set up a structure to make sure that money is managed properly. And not even money, you're talking about human and capital resources together.
Right.
So when you are thinking about going into the music business, number one, you have the necessary finance. You set up the necessary systems and structures. And then you get enough information about the music business. Because one of the things we see these days happening is like people just come with only money, without information, without a system, without a structure, right? And they fail. Just like every other business. Imagine someone says they want to start selling apples, or let's say they start selling alcohol, and they take their business to the north.
That's not right.
Even if the alcohol is valuable to someone, but you are taking it to the wrong location.
The wrong location. So
you can say that when you look at the music business, it's the same thing that happens everywhere. It's about value, it's about investment, and it's about returns. Another failing for most people who come into the music business is that they think about just how exciting the music is without thinking about channels by which revenue will come in. So somebody signs an artist, and then he's not thinking about the way whereby he's going to be making revenue. So they spend money on this artist, do the branding, change the clothes, buy them cars, do everything.
Because this happens a lot.
Everywhere. And the reason is not because there's no money, it's because of ignorance. And I keep saying it on different platforms that one of the major limitations of the music business in Nigeria is ignorance, not money. Right? Because let's look at it. If there's a problem that both rich and poor people suffer, it's not a money problem, it's a knowledge problem.
It's a knowledge problem.
You understand? Yes, information. So most people go into the music business with just money and they fail. And some people also go into the music business with just knowledge without money and they still fail. So when you're going into the music business, it has to be a holistic arrangement. That's why people who get signed tend to do better than people who are independent.
So I wanted to ask that too.
Yes.
So what's like the difference? What's better there? Sorry to cut you short though. If you're talking about independent artists and those who are signed on the record labels, these days, you and I know, do you understand that there are a couple of independent artists that are doing well, except I'm wrong. We have people like the Bensons, the Vibes, Shay Vibes. So what are they doing differently, or what did they do differently from those who are in the record label?
You know, when you mention the word independent, it doesn't mean that they are not people. They aren't people who are working behind the scene.
Okay.
Right? You seated here now. Someone would just think that, oh, this guy, he's good at what he does. But behind the camera, there are people who are making things work. So Buju Benson, as an artist, has a dedicated producer, has a manager, he has a team, he has a lawyer, he has people who do the accounting for him, right? You also have people who do the data analysis. Oh, where are his songs being streamed? Where should it go for a show? But somebody who is an independent artist in the core sense of independence doesn't have anything. Because, for example, the average Nigerian emerging artist records their song probably with their phone. They upload it without even understanding that there's a basic production level that different apps. Spotify has a different level of quality, audio quality. AudioMac has a different level of audio quality. So they are ignorant of that. And that can affect user experience. Right? So, but when Buju wants to put out a song, his team already knows that, look, AudioMac requires a different level standard. Spotify requires, even YouTube requires a different standard.
They all have different standards.
Yeah, so but when they put these things out and fans begin to listen to this song, after like 6 months, 7 months, they just don't wake up and say, look, I want to go to India to do a show. No, a data analyst goes behind the scene, spools out this information, analyzes it, and knows where the people are streaming these songs, and then they go there to do a show. Let me make it easy for you to understand. When the video goes to the US to do a show, they just don't assume there are people there to fill up that arena. They are working based on data. You understand? So, regardless of how you look at it, independent doesn't mean that you are doing it alone. Independent just means in terms of finance. It is not, you are sourcing it yourself, right? And again, it also has to do with who you are paying allegiance to, right? As a business, right? So, as an independent artist in this current time, you are not as independent as you think that you are, because there are a lot of people who just prefer to be behind the scene. It's just like somebody who is coming out to contest for an election. You don't know people backing.
He has a campaign team.
A campaign team. So Nobody does music successfully now
independently.
Independently.